Welcome back. This is episode 11, my podcast. I have a very, very awesome guest on today. Is my friend Jeff. We met it so far. How's it going, Jeff?
I'm good, man. Good.
Cool,
Excited
cool.
to chat with you today.
Dude, thanks for coming on here, man. I think it's been like in the works to have you on this for a little bit now, I feel like.
Yeah, I love doing I love doing podcasts. I just think they're fun. I think it's fun to like have a purposeful conversation. And
yeah.
I enjoy listening to podcasts, so
Same.
as soon as I noticed you were doing this, I was like, oh, I gotta find a way onto Max's show. So
glad to hear that. And glad to hear. Is this your first time doing one, or have you been on another one before?
I've done a few, mostly violent crime related. So the one I've been on a couple times is the Indecent Exposure podcast with Kevin McMahon. He's great. Then we did like the Underbelly Hours. We did
That's right. I did listen to that. I forgot.
We did like Ox Populi. So we've done like kind of the podcast you got to do when you're in the Chicago music scene. So
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And then mine's just like a platform I bring like creatives and artists and people that do cool stuff on here. Hence why you're on here. So I'm excited to have you on. We have a lot to talk about in this episode. Jeff is working on a solo project right now that we're going to go over. I met Jeff through his band Violent Crime through So Far, for those of you that don't know. So we're going to talk about Violent Crime a little bit. And we got some TikTok stuff to talk about. Jeff turned himself into a character, and I'll let him talk about that. So it's gonna be a fun one. So I mean, wow, we met. How long ago was that we met it So Far?
I mean, I feel like we were definitely like, and I think I think a lot of people in like the music and performance scene in Chicago, like you're kind of like internet friends before you meet. So I feel like we had an internet relationship.
I think we did.
And then we met, I believe, for the first time officially when Violent Crime did a filmed So Far Sounds concert.
Yeah.
And obviously you were there, so we finally got... And I remember being like, oh, hey, nice to finally meet you. It wasn't like... it was like... It had been a long time coming, and I can't remember... It was in like a yoga studio.
It was a weird one. It was like a yoga studio that was like downstairs. I remember like walking down into something.
It was I just remember it was really hot in there the whole time, which happens at So Far shows because it's like usually packed to way more than a room can hold. But then we like halfway through the night found out that one of the air units had been on heat the whole time and wasn't putting air conditioning out. So we were like, well, of course everybody's just like drenched in sweat. So it's pretty uncomfortable, but you recorded us doing Valerie, like one of our main covers, and that was the first time we met. So
I think it's funny because you guys played Valerie so much, and then I think at that show or a show after, you guys were like, guys, this is a special performance, the last time we played Valerie. And then I went to a Lincoln Hall show of yours, and then you played Valerie there again. I was like, this is not the last time.
It's one of those things that, like, you just get sick of it as a band because you're doing it all the time. But, like, most people do not come to all your concerts. And usually someone is seeing you for the first, second, or third time at most. So, like, they're not sick of hearing Valerie. And it's a good song. But we kind of were, but yeah, people like you kept asking for it. Well, yeah, you can't not play Valerie. It's like a staple cover, so we'll probably play it once shows are back. So,
and I feel like I kind of feel like the people that like there's people that can relate to it is what I'm trying to say, I guess, and so they know the lyrics, so they're able to sing along. So it's a good like attention grabber, I guess. And it's also for people that don't know tell them how many people are in your band and what your band is made up of.
There's 5 core members, but we have an ensemble of 3 additional members who play like horns, keys, and backing vocals. So there's like sometimes 8 of us on stage. It's pretty crowded.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was the first time I saw 8 of you on stage. I met you guys, I think, at the Sofar, but I saw 8 of you at the Lincoln Hall show.
Right, yeah, that sounds right. Unless you were at... Yeah, I'm having trouble remembering. It must have been that summer that So Far show was. I think the first time we ever did the full ensemble was at our album release show at the Bottom Lounge. And that was June of 2019. And then pretty much every show after that we had the ensemble, except for our last show before lockdown, at the Beat Kitchen, which was like,
oh yeah,
one of the
that's
coolest
right.
shows.
That's
Yeah,
right.
we didn't have them there. I forget why exactly. I think it was honestly like the stage was too small, and we were like, it's probably just not going to work. And I think we just wanted to do just the core group again. But yeah, that So Far show was pretty interesting. I feel like every So Far show we did, we gained a couple more fans, and like especially that one. Like if you look that and like not to toot our own horn here, but like compared to a lot of filmed So Fars, our Valerie video has like a lot of views.
It does. It does.
So,
I noticed
pretty
that.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it feels rewarding when videos get a lot of views like that. Like for me, for you guys, and obviously for So Far, it feels rewarding. And I think just getting views on YouTube is a rewarding
and like
feeling.
the bigger artists, when they do So Far, obviously their videos get a lot of views. But like, you know, smaller local artists, like it's kind of just like there's so many of them that obviously they're not all gonna blow up, but like ours had a decent amount. And I think that's probably just because like we probably shared it a lot, because we were really proud of it. I think it turned out really well. So
yeah. And how long has Violet Crime been around?
oh man, there are many different opinions on that. It's like there were just like many phases. Like I think like our first show with Selena was at Martyrs, and that would have been, I think that was July of 2018. So coming up on 3 years now. But obviously she had been like rehearsing with us prior, but that was the first show with her. But the band had been kind of puttering around for I want to say almost a year before that. Like there was like basically like, could I talk about how we formed as a band? It's kind of a long story, but
for sure.
I guess now is probably the time to get into it.
Now's the time to dive in.
So it started from I had like this Kevin and I were like college roommates, and he learned guitar like pretty quickly in college. For someone to just pick up the guitar, you know, he was a drummer, and he is still a drummer, and like, you know, was pretty competent musician, but just like picked up the guitar in college, which is pretty neat. So when I was doing like my singer-songwriter stuff in college, he would perform with me. He would just two acoustic guitars, which looking back is just like so basic, but that's what we did. So then we continued living together after college, and I don't know, I got into the full-time job thing, and like kind of was trying to do the singer-songwriter thing, but didn't really know what I was doing. And like I had actually joined another band as a drummer, but that was more of like a cover band thing, so it's kind of different. But Casey, our bass player, is the co-founder of a startup company in Chicago called Packback, and they were hosting a monthly like open mic basically. And Casey and I were friends from college. We were in the same business fraternity in college, and I had also interned at his company. So I was connected with him, and he's like, "Oh, you should come like just play this open mic." So one night Kevin and I went out there, just played a few songs, like mostly just like covers, and Casey like approached us after our set and was like, "So like, do you guys play a lot of shows?" we were like, "No." No, we don't play any shows. Like, he's like, "Oh, okay, like you guys have a band name?" We're like, "No, no." Like it was funny that he just thought we were so much more than we were. It was kind of flattering, but he was like, "Oh, like, we should like start a band. Like we play some shows." Like he was like real casual about it, and we were kind of like, "Why not? Let's try it out." Like You know, he
Yeah.
started a company. Maybe he can start a band. So yeah, I was really like, you know, he seems to really have a vision here. So let's try this out. And it was just the three of us for a bit, just kind of like jamming and like not really knowing what we were doing. And then,
For sure.
but all the while, Kevin and I were kind of like fanboys of our guitar player Tom, who was not in the band yet, because I had gone to high school with Tom, and we were like in the jazz program and stuff at our high school together, so like we knew each other and we're friends from that. You know, he was just, I mean, he's just one of the best guitar players like I've ever met. So we would watch his Instagram,
sure.
and like Kevin would always be like, "God, that guy's just so good." Like it was just like a thing we did. And then I remember one day I was like, "Should we see if he wants to maybe be in our band?" And then Kevin was like, "I won't want to, but yeah, we could ask him." So I sent him a message. I was like, "Hey, when do you graduate? Like, we'd really like you to like jam with our band." And like he had a year left before graduating, and then I remember we waited patiently for a year, and then I messaged him another year later. I was like, "Did you graduate?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "You want to come jam?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then that was it. So it was like pretty like, it was pretty bam, bam, bam. And then at the same open mic that Casey's company was hosting, Selena performed one night that we all happened to be there. And it was funny because she was there strategically for business. Like, she was there trying to win Casey's company as a client of her company. She's a consultant, and she figured like, oh, I'll come and sing and like, you know, kind of build this relationship. And then she ended up just joining the band, and I don't think she ever won the account, but she you know, joined the band after you know, it took some convincing and some conversations to officialize it, but you know, eventually we got her. And then so we had played a few shows prior to her being in the group, but I don't even think we were going by the name Violet Crime. We had some band names we were working under that were just really bad, and then it was really not until she joined that I think we like kind of became. And it's weird because she performed at our release show, but we had recorded all the music prior to her being in the group. So like all the like the cover art, like she's not on it, but she was like performing at the release show. So it was quite a journey, and that's how it went.
Do you think the podcast can know what those band names were?
So I guess, yeah. So so Casey had gone out west just like on vacation one weekend, and he had done this like tour of like a bunch of like abandoned railroads, and all these abandoned railroads had really cool names, and like they all made pretty cool band names. Like one was like Empire Builder, and one was Red River Limited, and one was something like all these like kind of cool. Empire Builder sounds kind of neat. And back then we were going for like, which is so weird, we're going for like a folk roots rock sound, which is obviously not at all what we are
I think you told me that once before. Yeah,
but we went with the band name Red River Limited.
That's actually kind of cool.
We thought so too, and then we quickly realized that we were like ignorant men, and that Red River had just some like, so the women in our lives were like, that's kind of a weird band name. We were like, why? And then they explained it to us, and we were like, oh my god, we feel like such idiots. So we're like, okay, we need a new band name. So very
funny.
thankful to Casey's wife Jessica, and also my ex-girlfriend, who went out of her way to tell me that my new band name sucked. Yeah, that happened. There's obviously nothing like offensive or derogatory about that. It's just like mostly embarrassing.
Yeah.
so
that's
yeah.
And now you're Violent Crime, and now people are apparently searching violent crime, and there's getting all that is happening with it, right?
It's a double-edged sword, because it's very like it's hard to like it catches you, that band name.
Yeah, it does.
But it's also so frequently mispronounced and misspelled that it's kind of frustrating. Like I have This one isn't, but we have a So Far poster where it was mispronounced or misspelled, and it was like, damn it, like
Violent crime.
You know, I mean, what did we expect? So,
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I can't not think of violent crime when I hear it. Like, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Then I'm like, no, I know it's violent crime, so I have to like correct it in my own head. But it's kind of funny. It makes it kind of a funny name in a way at the same time.
well, and then like people, whenever you tell someone, you have to like, it's like, oh, what's your band name? People ask me this at work, and I'm just like, Violet Crime. I have to like really like enunciate it because like people are like, what did that guy just say? So that's what, you know, what's really funny, Max, is a couple days ago I got a so the funny thing is like Violet Crime is not active on Twitter at all. Like we're really weird for that reason.
Yeah.
Like we're really active on Instagram. We have a pretty good following on Instagram, but Twitter, we have like 70 followers versus like 3,000 on Instagram. And I got a tweet. Somebody tagged us in a tweet that said, it was just some random person that I didn't know. And he said, today I thought to myself, there's probably a band called Violet Crime. So I searched it and I found you guys. Paper Queen is a great album. I'm a fan. Cool. And I was like, whoa.
What?
Kind of funny. Like this person just like subconsciously came to the conclusion that somebody must have used that as a band name. And then just searched it and found our band. Isn't that funny?
Wait, that's what the heck? That is so.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's pretty bizarre.
Wait, so does I think I searched Violet Crime on Google one time, and it was like, did you mean violent crime? And like, there's like pictures on Google that have like that you just like shouldn't be looking at or something. Like, I haven't honestly clicked images, but I think someone told me that one time.
Yeah, you have to like. It's like, did you mean this? It's like, no. And then you get the real search results. Yeah, bad SEO. We don't have good SEO.
Yeah. I guess it makes for a comedic aspect.
It does. It does.
So what I guess kind of like you guys have obviously been like, to backtrack a little bit, terrible segue, but to backtrack, what have you guys been doing during like lockdown? Because I mean, I know a lot of bands had like their thing they were doing, people like recording virtually, people were like making videos virtually, which I think I saw you guys do a couple of. Yeah, kind of like what were you guys doing as a band? Because I know you guys were pretty like separated during quarantine, obviously.
Yeah, so we have been recording new music this whole time at Rax Trax Studios in Chicago with a producer named Noam Wallenberg.
Yeah, I love Noam.
Really
He's
cool
awesome.
Guy. We met him at the Lincoln Hall show because he was playing in and like producing Secret Bad Boy, who was also on that show.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we've been recording with him. Yeah, we didn't do any of the like virtual concerts or like we didn't rush to like put out quarantine content. It just wasn't. You know, I'm not sure exactly why. Personally, I think like a lot of people just like went into survival mode once lockdown happened and was just too anxious and like preoccupied with the gravity was what was going on in the world to like be creative.
Right.
And I feel a little weird saying that because, you know, I was lucky enough to like remain employed through the pandemic.
For sure.
But it was still just like, it's when you're just surrounded with constant uncertainty, it was just really hard for me to like be productive and creative.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can't speak for the rest of the band, but I would imagine that they would probably say something similar. But we did kind of like, it was weird because we had started making plans to record pre-pandemic. And then like once the pandemic hit, we were like, well, we might as well still like do this. So, you know, the studio had some COVID like restrictions and guidelines, but we made it work, and we have like a couple songs that are done.
Oh, cool.
We have a couple that are in the works, and then we have one that is sort of in the demo phase.
Oh, sick.
And then we plan to do at least one more, and kind of this will be a collection that we'll release at some point. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Because I I gotta be honest, like I can to this day, like I probably go at least like a couple times a week to the Violent Crime Spotify and just I'll like hit that heard you like the Rolling Stones and just like jam out and like I'll hit some of the OG songs on the earlier albums and just jam out. Like those are just songs like there's certain songs I feel like have a certain time attached to them. Those ones don't. They're like any day, like you just go in, you can jam. It's like I just love listening to the Violent Crime Spotify personally. And
That's awesome, man. Thank you.
I
appreciate
yeah,
that.
and I just like being an active listener on there makes me want more music. So I'm seriously like not even just because we're friends. I'm actually really excited for the new music to come out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I am too. It's you always forget how long it takes to do that.
Yeah.
And like, right now we've had a couple songs that have been done for a while, but we want to do music videos, and it's like, okay, well, we're not going to release the song until we have the music video done, and it's like videographers are getting busy, and it's like once the video's done, there's just so many things that have to happen before you put the tune out. So I'm eager as hell to start releasing, and I'm really, I'm really proud of what we've done and what we're currently working on, and I think it is going to. I think it's just like a whole order of magnitude above what we've done in the past.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that. It really is better songwriting, I think, from the band, and just a different approach, I think
you guys are all process. I think you guys are all warmed up to each other a little more now too, and you like know each other better, so that probably I would imagine helps in the process too.
And I think we're like down to be a little more experimental. Like I
Right.
think we were really trying to like make really consumable hits,
right,
per se.
Yeah.
And now I think there's like a little more like nuance and weirdness to the music
that's cool.
I'm confident will like. So
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so anxious.
me too, man. I'm stoked.
Yeah, so I remember, I guess to use that as like a segue, because I remember so kind of two things here. So this goes into like the second and third topic, but let's go over the second one. So at the beginning, maybe midway through quarantine, I think, or towards the end, I think you were messaging me trying to figure out the solo project thing, because you were like, I'm trying to do a solo project, I want to promote it, and then you were like, hey, tell me about this TikTok, and like, how can I promote it on there, and all that, and then that turned into a whole nother thing. We'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, what's happening with the solo projects? I guess I didn't really talk to you much about that after that day. I don't really know, like, what I didn't even know about it till you told me, and this is gonna be fresh information for everybody.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I just aside from being like a vocalist in this band, like I still consider myself like a songwriter and instrumentalist, and really wanted to like. I had done a solo project before in college that went absolutely nowhere because I had no idea what I was doing. And now having like been really experienced what it's like to like really do a project and kind of put everything into it. I just wanted to like see what I could do. And I had some ideas that just like we're not gonna be violent crime songs. Like it's just a very different thing, and that's okay. But I still wanted to like put it out into the world. So, I didn't, I felt like I had built up enough contacts to kind of find someone to record with, and I had started again, kind of made internet friends with Kat and Tony Baker from the band Broken Robots, and they had started sort of promoting their like their production services. Like they were recording bands, and I know that I knew they were all pretty much self-produced too, and they make great music. So and they seemed like cool people, and I just hit them up one day and was like, I kind of want to come record some music with you guys. What would that look like? So I started doing that. It was weird. I started kind of planning it like September, October of like 2020. So like kind of halfway through quarantine. And then the pandemic got so bad that I had started recording tunes with them,
Mhm.
and then I took like 5 months off from going to the studio because rates were so bad that
Yeah.
my bubble and like my roommate and I were really like bringing it down, and it was just like, and thinking about like they're, I just don't know, you just don't know like who everybody is. It was just like a safety measure. It was like, listen, like I don't want to put you guys in danger, and I'm trying to protect myself and my friends.
100%.
So I had to take some time off, which was really disappointing because I liked hanging out with them, and I really wanted to record music, but you got to do what you got to do.
Safety
sometimes.
first. Safety
Yeah,
first.
absolutely. So we're back at it. 2 songs done. I just got the masters back, and yeah. So but like, yeah, the project is I love, like, I'm a big fan of I don't know how much you listen to Corey Wong.
I actually don't know who that is.
From Wolfpack. So Wolfpack, who's
Yeah.
like me and the people in Violet Crime are big fans of Wolfpack. Corey Wong is like the guitar player from Wolfpack.
Okay.
One of them. And he has like a pretty dope solo project. But the cool thing is, like, he like kind of writes the songs and produces them,
Sure.
but there's always a featured artist, whether it's a vocalist or a pianist or something, that he's just like always collaborating. And it's like, that looks really cool. Like, I would really like to like just like write and record songs and then just like invite people that I know and admire to come and like fill the spaces.
Yeah, for sure.
Where I see that. So so that's what I did. I kind of like recorded 2 songs. I'm definitely gonna do more. Not just gonna release 2 songs. But yeah, I've got 2 done now, and I they both have different collaborators on them. So one of the tunes, just a couple of my buddies that I've played music with for a couple years, just like who are my friends. They recorded like bass and lead guitar on a tune that's kind of like a rock and roll, like a heavy hitting rock and roll tune. And then I have a more like folk pop song, and I have a guest violinist on that tune, and I'll keep her name
anonymous,
hush for now. But once it's announced, I think people will be interested in that. So yeah, and the plan is definitely to keep doing some songs. It's just like, it's hard when I don't really have the means to do like 3 days a row.
Yeah.
3 days in a row in the studio. Like, I work full time, so I need to like do this in the weeknights
for sure,
and the weekends, and like they have other clients too. So it happens slowly, and then also just for a couple of reasons, I had to do the drums somewhere else. So I went and recorded the drums with a dude named John Terry, and John Terry produced Splits. Splits' his last record.
Okay.
And he's also produced Wilmette in the past. He's done oh shoot, I'm forgetting their name. It's Joyful.
Oh yeah, I know Joyful. I know them.
Yeah, so yeah, John Terry's got a pretty dope like drum recording rig in his house, so I went and just like tracked some drums there. Did you know I was a drummer? I don't know if you do.
I don't think I knew that. No.
Yeah, yeah. So I
That's
like went
sick.
and did, track some drum kit there.
How long have you, or I guess how long have you been playing drums?
It was like pretty much my first instrument. Like, I wanted to play percussion in band in school, and in order to do that, you had to take piano lessons, which I also was really stoked about. I took piano lessons as a kid for several years, but I was in percussion in band all through school and like in high school, and then was like on the drum line at Illinois State where I went to.
That's right.
So like,
that's right. You're on the drum
weird.
line.
Like, I primarily think of myself as a drummer, but I've just become a singer because of just kind of what happened with
Yeah,
Violent Crime.
100%.
So it's been cool that's been the other cool part about the solo project is like getting to play drums.
That
again,
always happens to my vocalist friends. Like, they're always like, oh yeah, I've been a guitarist my whole life. And then they're like, but yeah, now I'm the vocalist in this band. Like, I feel like the vocalist always comes from the person that's just like, yeah, I'll take the vocal position. Like,
You just, and it's like, I was a singer before, but I was never a terribly confident singer and like felt like I had a lot to improve on. I never had any like formal training or anything. So I did take, once the band started picking up, I took a few lessons, and now I think I've, definitely improved over the years. But, there was a time in my life when people did not like to hear me sing.
It's a grueling thing, though, honestly. Like, having people, like, especially what you just said, people didn't like to hear you sing, like, that's like the worst feeling, too. And on top of it, like, I'm already, like, just doing this podcast, I'm already, like, in my head about my own voice. Like, oh my God, other people are going to hear this. How's this going to sound? And I'm like, why am I even thinking that? Nobody cares. They hear it regularly anyway. But
it's a very intimate part of yourself because you can't change it, and it's just like very vulnerable. And as you know, like you don't sound the same way in your head that you do to other people.
Yeah, so. And you have a great singing voice. So I'm like surprised that people like even went there back then. That's kind of weird.
Thank you. Me too. People are mean when you're young, but I also definitely like was probably a crap singer at one point. And like I don't want to minimize like how much work I put in.
Yeah, you've put so much
getting good. Like I worked on singing like throughout all my teen and college years, like either like with a purpose or without one. So that's the thing. And this as a creative, that like sometimes people imply that like you're just like good at things, but like you actually busted your butt to get good and you put a lot of work in, and it's like, well, like you think I'm just like good at this, but like I've worked my whole life at this, so like it's like sometimes it just like takes hard work. So
yeah, it's not an overnight victory.
No.
So I guess with all that said, like you've put in all this work, so does that feel like it's a kind of like a I don't know the word I'm looking for, like a big a whole thing of like what you've worked on all these years in this solo project kind of like coming together, or is it different just because you're having different people on it? Like I guess how does that tie into the solo project, I guess, is my better question.
I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely like applying all of the things I've learned from playing in bands and like just playing instruments and playing different instruments and learning from different artists and producers. Like Violent Crime has had a few different producers, and they've all taught me different things about thinking about recording music and writing songs. And I feel like I'm like actively applying all that stuff, while also there's also a part of me that's like, okay, now I have like a way that I really want to do this, and this is my opportunity to like just do it my way,
Yeah, so, for sure. That's cool. So I'm excited to hear what's to come of the solo project, honestly.
Yeah, I'll send you a sneak peek.
Ooh, all right. Yeah. I'm excited. It's because it was like like you said, halfway through quarantine when we first started talking about it. So I'm just excited to hear who even the violinist is and just everybody involved. I know it's gonna. That's another cool thing. I at least personally, like speaking from my own experience. Like when you are working on something on a larger scale and then you have like your own little thing on the side. So for instance, for me, like my bigger thing is like my bigger YouTube channel that has like over 1,000 subscribers. But my little thing is this podcast that has like 73 subscribers. So I'm always like in my head, I'm always like, all right, it's cool to see like what's going to hit that doesn't hit on my other channel. Or I'm like, maybe I'll make one video that'll be like 30 views. And for some reason, this one podcast I do, for some reason will have like 7,000 views or something. Like I always like think about that in my head, and I don't know if that's like something you think about too. Like you're like, ooh, maybe this like solo thing could hit different than something in Violent Crime. Maybe this Violent Crime thing, like, do you think like that, or is that just like me personally?
So with the solo stuff, my attitude has been like, I'm not at all thinking about how it will be like received. Like it's literally just like all about just making something that I'm proud of and that I feel like came from me,
right?
And kind of accepting that it might not be as popular, but that's why it's a solo project, and we're really making sure like violent crime stuff
Is pushed.
is gonna be pushed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and it's kind of funny. Like I believe it hasn't been fully. I haven't decided, and I guess I'm the only one who needs to decide. But I think like my EP name for the solo project is gonna be the No Apologies Tour.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is like kind of symbolic of that. Of like, I'm not doing this. Is just because like everything that comes out of this is just solely because I wanted it that way, and it's not really like I'm trying to like be marketable or trendy or anything.
Yeah, it's all for fun. I like that. I like that. I think that's where you have the most fun with stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
And I guess I've said this before about like the reason I bring up the views thing and why I like it though is because like I feel like when stuff gets views, you get more opinions and you get to hear like other people's thoughts on it more than something that doesn't have views. So it like kind of like gives you perspective, like, and that's why I like getting a lot of views and stuff, because then someone will be like, oh, like, hey, your podcast, you did this wrong, you should switch that, and I'm like, holy cow, I never thought of that. Like, thank you,
Sure.
But it's probably different with music, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's like a little less direct.
Yeah.
Like you get a comment on a YouTube video, and it's like, hey, you should try that. Like with the music stuff, you kind of have to like dig into the data and figure out what's working, and like almost like make assumptions and stuff. I've always wondered, why did you start another channel for your podcast? Like, why didn't you just take advantage
Dude,
of the platform
oh my
you have?
God. I've put different content on my main channel before, and I get personal text messages from friends that are like, hey, you, what are you doing? Hey, take that off your channel. Like, what are you doing?
Really?
Yeah, like, I did that, like, over quarantine. I think I got, like, 5 text messages from different friends and, like, Snapchats from people being like, yo, like, stop right now. You're on a whole different track. Like, you need to, like, stay in your lane, buddy. Like, skate videos only. And I'm just like, whoa. Like, and then someone, like, gave me the whole, like, niche breakdown. They were like, you're in a skateboarding niche. Like, you need to stick with that. That's, like, your channel. And if you do anything else, people are not going to like it. And I'm just telling you that for the good of you so that people don't rag on you even more. And I'm like, whoa. Like, after that, I took it, like, really personally. So I'm just like, all right, it's going to be on another channel. You can subscribe to it if you want. Don't have to subscribe. But it's going to be there, and it's there for you. So, like, it's funny because I'm subscribed to another YouTuber that, like, his content's all over the place. He'll make, like, videos talking about other people. He'll make videos where he's playing games with his friends. He'll make podcast videos. He'll make videos of him, like, just talking about stuff he's doing in his daily life. Like, so I'm like, there's people out there that do it, but
Who is it?
He's like this bigger YouTuber. His name is his real name is Charlie, but his channel's name is Penguin Zero.
Okay.
He has like I think 6-7 million subscribers.
Okay.
But it's funny because I'm like, people like him do it, but then when I do it, people are like, hey, Buster.
Yeah. Well, I think so. I don't know. I have a couple like differing opinions on that. I think there's like part of me that if I were you, I'd feel like grateful that like someone gave me that honest feedback, because that means like people do care. Like they want your content to succeed.
Yeah.
But also it's like there's part of you that probably wishes people are into the content because you're making it regardless of what
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it probably hurt a little bit to like hear that.
Yeah. It's a weird thing because like I have this weird barrier in I don't know if this is in my head and you might deal with this too, but like for me at least, like when I'm making stuff, I'm like a lot of people that are subscribed to this channel, I've like either met or like they know me through the internet in some way or another, or like through TikTok. They know me in some fashion or form enough to know that I'm into cameras and skateboarding. So it's like, or editing. So it's like, if you know that's what I'm into personally, then why don't you appreciate it when you see it on the internet? But yet when we're in person hanging out, you're like, wow, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And it's like, why does that not like translate on the internet? But in person, it's like, wow, this is the best thing in the world. You know what I mean? It's like, where's the like,
where's the disconnect?
Yeah.
That is strange. I don't know. I also think like different platforms have different rules, like unwritten rules. Like I think TikTok is probably different from YouTube in that a lot of TikTokers can make really different things.
Yeah, for sure.
And people enjoy it. Like I'm trying to think of like people on TikTok that I follow who I enjoy. It's actually, now that I think about it, most of the people that I regularly watch on TikTok make a very specific kind of niche content. But I don't know. I'm not sure what to say about that. That's just like, man, that's how the algorithm AI just like kind of rules the world a little bit, you know? Like it kind of stifles your freedom.
It does. It does not. It like, I kind of went to sleep the other night thinking about this. I'm like, I might just try it one more time of putting some other stuff out there, because like I have felt limited lately on my channel, and I was listening to a Twitch stream last night with this YouTuber. He has like 3 million subs, and he was on with another YouTuber that has like 200,000 subs, and they were both talking about how like they just kept doing different things in their channel to see what works, and people end up appreciating what you enjoy the most, and that's what they found out through making random stuff. And I'm like, it kind of felt good hearing that from them. Like, maybe I should try it again. So I'm taking that as a sign to try it again, even though I'm not one to be like, oh, this is a sign. Like, I'm just gonna like one more try. I get one hate comment, I'm done. I'm just like skate channel only, because I do have a camera channel but it has like 19 subscribers, and I have a YouTube help channel with like 48 subs or something like that. So I have it sectioned off now, but at the end of the day, like, it just depends on your like thumbnail and what you put out there, and like what who the viewer is. It's all about like targeting your audience. So
right.
I guess kind of, I can go on and on about that. But I guess kind of like segueing off of that, kind of back to what you were saying with TikTok. Let's freaking dive into the Clint talk world and
let's do it.
Talk about it, because I've been telling a lot of friends this story actually lately. I've been showing them I've shown probably about like 10 different friends your TikTok lately. I remember it was an interesting thing, because when you were starting your solo project, you had messaged me and you were like, hey, what should I do on TikTok? And I was like, I think I told you, I was like, just look at other musicians' TikTok, see what they're doing. Like, I was like, people like weird stuff that you would not even like think of, just like, even if it doesn't have to do with music, like make some like random stuff. And you were making, I think you made some music stuff at first, or you made like some stuff you jam, and then I think I saw like a split screen video of you guys like that you guys put together with like it was, I don't remember who you put together like a split screen video of like a Green Day song or something like that.
Yeah, Claire from Splits.
That's
and
right.
myself, we did Sugar Going Down by Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Fall Out Boy, that's what it was. And then you made some other stuff, and then all of a sudden this Clint character came about, which is, I had no idea where that even came from, but I was like, all of a sudden I think you texted me, or I saw it, or so. How many views did that first one get? And talk about who Clint is and where this came about too.
Yeah, so I had like grown to appreciate TikTok like last summer. I kind of like was really resistant to it, and then I started finding some stuff that was good. I was like, oh, I didn't realize there was actually like good stuff on here. And yeah, it's really like the best stuff on TikTok, I feel, is like the comedy, the funny
For
stuff.
For sure.
Or like the situational, like the things where like somebody just like acts out a scenario that people don't normally talk about, but we all understand, whether it's like a corporate thing or a social thing or whatever, like or like a trope in movies or shows. Like, that's really funny. So I kind of started, well, what I would do at first is like I just had a TikTok and like like Instagram music videos where I would make like those kind of collage videos of me singing multiple parts or whatever. I would post those to TikTok just to see, and they get like a couple hundred views or whatever. You know, basically nothing. And this one day I had wanted to post, I think I had reached out to you about like how to use the app. It's actually like kind of a tricky app to learn how to use.
Yeah, it is.
And I feel like it's kind of like anybody who like, it's almost like on your way to using like a DAW or a video editor. Like, it's almost like a mini, you know? So
it is.
So I had this idea of like making like a point of view of like a sound guy, like because like the grumpy.
Oh yeah,
sound
you
guy.
told me
Like,
about this.
Sound
Yeah.
guys are always kind of like sometimes sound, or I don't want to say always, but like we've all like encountered the kind of like grumpy sound guy who just like cannot believe that a band showed up to play at the venue, and it's like they're like, but they're also just like sick of like you know greasy goofy musicians like me. So like whatever, they're over it. And I thought about doing it, and then I forget, like, just like a POV thing, like barely saying anything, just like, trying to like kind of hit that, like, okay, maybe I could like put out a video that would like
Be relatable.
get picked up, and I could kind of, yeah. But then I went to like Snapchat my girlfriend one day, and that filter came up that I used for what is now my character, Clint from IT. And it was just like transition sunglasses and like big cheeks. It's really weird, but I was like, and I've worked in like corporate, like technical corporate America my whole career. That's like what I do outside of music. And I, despite working in technology, I have to call the IT guy a lot because I'm kind of bad with technology. And I was just like, wow, I kind of look like just your average like frumpy jaded IT guy. Like I should make
with the
a
filter
video with the filter. Yeah. It was like, I just, something about it looks like the IT guy. I should make a video because everybody who works in corporate America has been kind of sassed by their IT guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Because probably rightfully so, but it still happened. So, and I had been and that's the thing is I had been really into the corporate TikTok accounts, like Corporate Natalie is a favorite creator of mine. Rod, there's like the corporate mama or corporate millennial, but there's just like a lot of like corporate humor that
for
it's
sure
just really related, and it's niche, like we were just talking. So I was like, all right, I'll try this IT guy thing, and I post it, and it started getting more views than the music ones, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And then I like check back an hour later, and it's got like 5,000, and I was like, oh, weird. And then I like check back a little later, and it's just like going up and going up, and I'm like kind of texting my friends, and I'm like, look at this, like this is pretty bizarre. Like, this is getting a lot of views, and my girlfriend's sister, actually, she had like made a couple TikTok videos that got like 30,000 views or whatever. So she was like, oh yeah, sometimes they just like go viral. She's like, look in the morning, it will have gone viral, and it did. It had gotten like 100,000 views, I think, overnight or something. And I didn't gain a ton of followers by that point, maybe like 50, 100 or something like that. But I was like, okay, let's make another one. So I made another video in the character of this kind of grumpy, frumpy IT guy. And that one got a bunch of views. So I made another one the next day. And I just did it like 5 days in a row. And they all just, like, the comments were what told me that I had something. Because people were like, oh yeah, Clint. Like people watch 2 videos of a minute long and they feel like they know this character.
What was the first character that you, or not first character, the first like thing that you said as Clint? Like what were the lines? Do you remember, or what was the story?
I remember. It was literally just like typing and like the camera's here, and like you kind of look up because like somebody approached your desk, but like everybody knows you don't just go up to the IT guy's desk. Like you put in a ticket and have them help you with your issue that way. You don't go to their desk. So he was like, can I help you? And then it's like, oh, email not working. Okay. Submit a ticket. You did? Okay. Did you turn it off and on again? Because they always ask, you gotta ask. And then
can we get the Clint voice here?
Yeah, I'll do it. You submit a ticket. You did? Okay. You turn it off and on again. Yeah. Okay. Like, and then like, and then it's like, okay, I only try a few things. I got another machine in the back. Like kind of just like do this, like, just like kind of like trail it off, and then the video cuts off, whatever. And it's funny, like people always ask, like, is the voice a filter? Too?
I thought
no,
it
the
was.
Voice is actually, no, the voice is actually my voice. So yeah, I just kind of kept making videos And again, like, I'm not an IT guy, so I'm just like thinking of scenarios that I think I've heard them talk about or that I've been involved in, and just like trying to act those out. But yeah, dude, so I'm just noticing I'm gaining a lot of followers. I am getting a lot of views. I'm getting a lot of comments of people saying, do one where Clint does this. Oh, you should do one where, like, people are really connecting with this. And at first, I made an effort to like reply to every comment. And
I remember
some videos
that.
were getting like hundreds of comments, so that
Yeah.
took a lot of time. But here's the real motivation, Max. Is I said to myself, like, if I just keep doing this every day, I will probably gain a lot of followers. And if I have a lot of followers, I can drive traffic to my band's Spotify.
Yeah.
Totally unrelated things. Like it's like a TikTok character, and it's like corporate IT humor, which is so different from my funk pop band.
Yeah.
It's totally different, but there's bound to be some people who came for Clint and are interested in violent crime or whatever. So,
Yeah,
so that
sure.
was the motivation. But then I actually ended up just like really having fun, and like a couple other like technology related creators kind of like connected with me, and we just kind of like became friends through TikTok. Like, 3 that I can call out are Sys Engineer.
I've seen her comment. Yeah.
She comments a lot, and sometimes we'd like duet each other every once in a while. The cranky sysadmin is a dude who's more of like, he's kind of more like yours type of content where it's like educational, and he's not like a character. It's like, hey, like if you want to build this at home, like here's what you need. Like it's like very like it's kind of that stuff. And he does some like humor. He throws some humor in like the TikTok trends, like the sounds and the trends and stuff. You got to do those every once in a while. And then She Networks is another account. She's a again sort of more of like the educational content
For sure.
so those 3 people I feel like I've kind of like connected with and more or less like made friends with, and yeah, it's so fun. And like I have merch and people buy the merch.
I know, that was a huge. So wait, here's the crazy thing. Like, so you got
the merch for the camera.
Oh, you can see in the cup.
So it's got the face of Clint on it, and it says it says, "Did you submit a ticket?" Yeah, I'll show you here too in the computer.
Ah, it's so sick.
Yeah.
You got the Clint headphones on too right now.
Yeah, these are the ones I wear.
It's so funny. Like, you had one. I remember the glasses came off, and I was like, wait, were those real glasses? But you like took the filter's glasses off, and it was crazy. I like blew my mind for a second.
When you have that Snapchat filter up and you tap the screen, the glasses go away.
Oh.
And when you tap the screen again, they come back. And that's the other thing that's kind of funny about this is it's not a TikTok filter. It's a Snapchat filter.
Yeah.
So I make all the videos in Snapchat, download them, and then post them to TikTok. So a lot of people ask me, and I think about this a lot, what are you going to do if Snapchat retires that filter?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I've thought about doing kind of like preparing a farewell video ahead of time that I'll release if it goes away. Kind of like when like I think like when the Cuban Missile Crisis was happening, when Kennedy was president, they had 2 speeches prepared based on the outcome. Like one was like if it was solved, and one if like the missiles went off.
Yeah.
And it's like you kind of have to have it ready ahead of time. So I'm like, I think I gotta have my Cuban Missile Crisis farewell speech.
Would you still do the voice without the filter?
I don't think so. I don't think I would continue doing the character. I don't
What
think it
would
would
you
be the same.
What would you do on TikTok then?
I think it'd be over.
No.
I mean, I could potentially like email Snapchat.
That would.
There's also like I don't know what I would do. I would maybe try to find a different one, but I feel like people. I don't know that. I mean, I could try a few videos without it if that ever happened, and if people kept watching it. But the fun part about Clint is it's not my face, so like people don't know it's me, or they,
Right.
it might take you a minute to find out it's me. There is a desktop OBS filter, I think it's called.
Yeah.
That is like Snap Camera, and it's like a desktop thing. And people have told me I should like Twitch stream using that.
Yeah.
Like play games on Twitch and stream as Clint. I've just never mustered up the energy to do. I know it sucks because like I think it could actually be pretty big. And
Yeah.
a lot of people would watch it.
They
and
would.
Twitch can be lucrative, but dude, I have a job. I have a band.
You have a lot to handle.
Friends, a girlfriend. It's like
you hardly have time.
Yeah, like there's a little bit of residual income from TikTok, which is cool because of I have a character. Like, are you familiar with Cameo?
Yeah, you did a couple cameos
Like,
with Clint.
I've done. It's slowed down a lot, but the first couple of months, I did a lot of cameos. People would order a lot of cameos for their coworkers, for their friends. Like, a lot of it would be like coworkers, like like being like, yeah, this guy never submits tickets correctly, like scold him. Like, it was usually people having me like scold their coworkers, which is really funny. So.
Wait, so that's the crazy thing. Okay. So wait, two things. So you've built a following of 50,000 people. I think you're at like 54,000 or something.
It's like 48. Yeah.
48,
Yeah.
which is like crazy because I think you've had TikTok for like a shorter amount of time for me, but you've also got more views on this like Clint thing. So there's more people coming to it. You have more traffic on it, which is really cool. So you have like a lot of people looking up to Clint, obviously. They're like looking forward to Clint. And like, with that being said, what has been like your favorite Clint video that you've made, or which one's been like the most like well received?
There was one. So I think the first video still has like the most views out of all of them, but I think like probably the best performing video was, so there was an intern, Kyle the intern.
Oh yeah.
I have like side characters that you never see, but I just like I have conversations with them. And I did one where the premise of the video was like Kyle like works in the help desk, and like some business user like was really rude to him on the phone and just like was a total jerk to my intern. So I called up that user and basically like threatened him. It was like, if you ever speak to my intern that way, like, hi Keith, is this Keith? Hi Keith, this is Clint from IT. Listen, I heard we gotta, just like go through this thing. Like, and by the way, we have the phone call recorded. If you ever speak to my interns that way, things will become very challenging for you. Do you understand? Just like go. I just had Clint go total mob boss, and like this video did so well. And Max, it's so silly because people are in the comments like, yeah, cheering me on. They are cheering me on for telling off a character that I made up. I no man should have this kind of power. Like, I completely made this scenario and these characters up, and people are cheering me on for it. It's so silly, but it's and I think what it is that deep down, it's actually like a little deeper, is that everybody wishes that they had a boss that would stand up for them that way.
Yeah.
And I think they saw Clint do that and were like, oh, cool, like Clint's a good boss. Like, because like at first he's kind of this, like, he's kind of jaded and like kind of like rude, but like really deep down he probably cares. And yeah, dude, there's just like a number of people who really connect with this goofy character, but I think there's like a little more to it. So, and that's so the best one.
It's so funny because I think, didn't you just make a video where it was like just you and you were like, guys, I totally forgot about Kyle, or was that a different character?
Yeah, no, it was Keith. That was the guy I forgot about. So I basically made a video. So I actually did like a season, and I basically said, it's the end of season 1 of Clint Talk. Here's a recap of the Clintiverse, which is what I call it. That's also the name of my Discord. I don't know if you're in my Discord server.
Yeah, I am. I'm in it. Yeah.
Okay. So, that's right. Yeah, we talked. Yeah. And I basically like went through all the side characters, and then I basically was like, hope I didn't miss anybody. And then one person commented, "Oh, you forgot about Keith." And I was like, I can't believe I forgot about Keith. But so you asked me this about like, what would I do if the filter went away? Like, when I post videos of just my regular face,
yeah,
whether it's talking about Clint stuff or it's like posting music things, or whatever, they get significantly less
Yeah,
views.
I noticed
It's like
that.
it's not even close. Like there's like a whole tier of like the worst performing Clint video is still better than the best performing music video.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I guess I would maybe keep posting on TikTok because it's just like another audience to reach. But yeah, if the filter went away, I think a lot of the clout would go away.
Yeah,
So
you'd be bummed. And like you've started the whole Discord group over it. You've got people like buying Clint merch and like I think
yeah,
to a degree there's probably people somewhere in there that like for their own emotional support for some reason look up to Clint in a way. Like it gives them that like laughter, it gives them a reason to like come to TikTok or
for sure.
there's I'm sure there's like people that look up to that in a way. And what I guess what has it been like? What happens when you like tell? You sort of answered this earlier, but not really. Like, what happens when you tell other people that you're like doing this character? Or do you tell people that, or like what? How does that go in person?
No, I generally don't bring it up because it's there's a very polarized response. Some people think it's really cool, and some people like can't even like
Digest
it's like
it.
it's so cringy to them. Yeah.
Someone
So
called me. Someone like called me the other week to tell me that like some of my TikToks are cringy. I'm like, that's the best stuff you can put on TikTok. The cringiest stuff.
it is. It is the best. It's also weird for me because like I've heard of actually some people like who make TikToks and like their company like kind of had an issue with it. So I'm pretty sure my boss knows. I've not talked to her about it directly, but like she follows me on Instagram, so she probably knows.
Yeah.
But I. This is what it's like. Is usually what happens is like people will talk about it in front of me with people who don't know about it, and then they'll be like, "Wait, what?" And it's like, "Yeah, I have this TikTok thing." That's how people find out. The other thing is like this is the funniest thing. I don't know if I told you this, but somebody from work sent me a message the other day and was like, "Hey Jeff, like somebody that like I've met like a couple times, but like I don't know him that well. We don't work together.
In
We just work at the
passing.
same company. Like if I didn't eat lunch in the lunchroom, probably never would have met this guy. Just
Right.
like met him, kind of socially. And he sends me a message and he's like, "Hey, are you Clint from IT on TikTok?" And I was like, he's like, yeah, I was like, yeah, I am. He's like, oh my God. He's like, I've been watching your videos for like a month and I had no idea that it was you. Like I was just watching them. He's like, do people know? Like, I won't tell anybody. I was like, it's fine. Like, I don't really talk about it, but like, I think some people know just because, if you follow me I share it on Instagram. So people will see it on Instagram. And yeah, I thought that was really funny. And a couple other things like that have happened. Like my girlfriend's cousin, she worked in a like a testing lab in Nashville. And like her coworkers would just watch Clint videos in the morning before work. And like one day her cousin sent her one of the videos, was like, "Oh, watch this TikTok." And Becca had to be like, "That's my boyfriend." And like, dude, and it happened with her coworkers. Like her coworker, because like my girlfriend works in support at the company. She works in like tech support for the company she works for. So they kind of really relate to Clint.
Yeah.
So they were like sharing it in their like company Slack, like, "Oh, like watch this," and she's like, "That's my boyfriend." Which is so funny.
Well, the funny thing is like that's a good testament to like the For You page is so good at being like, this is for you. Like, this is the stuff that you'll like. Like, somehow it's so like good at that. Like, you'll be like in passing talking about something so minuscule to a friend, and it still finds a way to be like, look at this. Like,
Yeah.
so it goes to show that it knows their IT. It's gonna show them IT stuff, which is crazy that they landed on Clint still. It's like,
Again, I think it's like it's IT, but I think it also reaches like the corporate humor.
yeah,
Because again, like if you've worked in corporate, you've interfaced or interacted with the IT guy. And I have to say, like I always I always felt kind of bad at first because I felt like I was
ragging on an
like,
IT guy.
mocking it. Yeah, and I don't like again, anybody who's worked in a corporate environment knows that like the IT guys, like they're holding it all together. Like they are very important and they have a very difficult, thankless job. So I try to make that clear that that's where I stand on it, and it's just for fun.
Yeah.
And I'm at peace with the fact, because I have lots of IT people comment and say like, this is hilarious. Like you got it, you did it just right. So it's like, okay. But it's funny because like, I don't know if the IT guys at like my company have seen it. I don't know. And then people at work who do know and like kind of follow it are like, have you told, the IT guys? I'm like, no, like I'm not going to tell them like, check this out. Like, no, like they can find it on their own. If they think it's funny, we'll talk about it, whatever. So.
Oh my God. That's so funny. It's been like a whole thing. Clint's just been, and how often, like, do you post a week? Did you say? I think you said it earlier, but you try to do like 5 a week or something like that?
I was doing like once or twice a day for a while, which I've definitely like, I've burned out a little bit. I've not been able to post that frequently. And I've definitely noticed like my engagement has dropped quite a bit, and it's because I'm posting less.
Yeah.
So, but I'm between seasons right now. So I'm telling myself once I get back to posting, I've posted a couple videos saying like, hey, I'm kind of taking a little break. Like I'll be back soon. And everyone's like, yeah, we're here for it. Like we're here. So, people just, yeah. So, I'm hoping the engagement comes back. There was part of me that really wanted to just like keep going all in, because I had a couple like inbound like influencer like inquiries like from IT
you
like
told
companies.
Me that. Yeah.
So I'm like kind of working on those a little bit.
Sweet.
And I want that to kind of keep happening too. So I feel like, and I would feel bad if I just stopped doing this and I like sold people all this merch.
Yeah.
And it's like, it only lasted for like 2. I feel like, I should keep it going to kind of, for those people who like kind of showed their support to me, like I should keep doing it. So, but yeah, I'm taking a little break just cause it can be, keeping up with TikTok. I mean, man, like
it's a lot. I have to take
a lot of work
too. Yeah. It's a lot. People look forward to it. Like, especially when you have a following like that, you get people that are like, they'll go on your old videos and be like, where are you at? Like, where have you been? Like, people wonder. But at the end of the day, like, I guess like at the end of the day, it's like you have to take a break for your own headspace to come up with new stuff. But I guess also another thing I was going to ask is like, to leave them off, is there like, do you have a preview of what's going to come on season 2 of Clint? Do you have any... Do you not know?
I have some ideas. There's one. The theme of the videos is like there's kind of 3 different Clint videos. There's like the narrative of like things that like character development things. Yeah. I have those kinds of videos, and then I have just like funny like things that happen.
Yeah.
And then I have like the TikTok trends. So the funny things and the TikTok trends are going to be kind of the same, but the narrative is going to kind of continue. So I have some ideas, but I won't give it away.
Do you script these out, or do you just like say them on the spot?
I usually just come up with an idea, but I'm not reading from a script. I come up with a general idea, and then it usually takes like 4 or 5 takes because I want it to be like natural and conversational.
Yeah, for sure.
So
that's sick. Yeah, is there anything else about Clint before we wrap it up that you want to bring up? Or
I think the weirdest thing about having a big TikTok following, and you might have, I don't know if you've experienced this, I've heard other people who kind of amassed like a lot of followers say this, but like people will just use your DMs as a place to save videos they like. So or maybe they're just sending me videos they want me to watch, but I have just tons of DMs of people just forwarding me random TikToks.
Same, yeah.
I don't know why they do that. Do they want me to watch those videos, or are they just saving it in my DMs so they can go back and watch it later? I don't know, but that's a thing.
I have this kid that's like sending me all these like kitchen TikToks, and I'm like, and then like there's like another one that he always sends me these like prank TikToks that are like just people being blatantly offensive to other people that I'm like, I literally messaged him back last week. I was like, dude, that's just really offensive. Like, that sucks that person did that. And then, like, I had another person send me, like, EMT TikTok videos or something. And I'm like, why am I getting random. These in my inbox?
I have no idea why. I'm I have no idea why people do that, but I did I did hear, I think I was watching another creator just like on a live stream once, and she said something like, yeah, the one thing you don't know about like getting a bunch of followers on TikToks, people just send you DMs of other TikToks. Like, it's really weird. So that's the one funny thing. I do answer DMs. I do appreciate, I think that's one thing is like, oh, like I follow this person with a lot of followers, like they're probably not gonna read my DM. Like, no, like you see them. And it does, when people say nice things, it really touches you, and it's nice. So I do appreciate. Sometimes I'll get emails just saying like, hey, like your videos, thanks for, that makes you happy. So
yeah, for sure, it's rewarding. Yeah. It makes you feel good about what you're doing. You're doing the right thing.
Totally.
Yeah, is there any like, I guess so you're at on TikTok is not Clint. Give him your socials. Give him like your TikTok, your Instagram. Where can they find you? What do you want them to check out? All that kind of jazz.
Yeah, so the band Violet Crime is at violetcrime_il. And then Instagram and TikTok are both at my name's Jeff, or my name's _Jeff, and it's MNAMES_JEFF, and that is, yes, from 22 Jump Street when Channing Tatum goes, my name's Jeff, like in that one scene. That is my Instagram and TikTok handle, and I figured I would not change it. Once I got a bunch of followers on TikTok, that was the handle, so I was like, I shouldn't change it now because people might, so that's still it. It was great chatting with you. I'm glad we finally did this. Thanks for having me on. For everybody listening, definitely let's be friends on Instagram and TikTok, and
yeah, dude, it's great having you on. I'm glad we, like I said, finally did this, and it just feels good to sit down, chat, and kind of, I guess, a little bit of catching up too.
Just kind of like personally, like we haven't chatted in a while, so that was
cool. It's been a minute. I was originally gonna come hang with you guys when you guys were all recording, but then Selena said that you guys were kind of all over the place. You guys weren't all together at once, and everything was all over. So I was like, all good. Yeah, we'll catch up. We'll catch up soon. And hey, you know what? If you're not subscribed to this channel and you like this podcast channel, I hope you like it. Hit the subscribe button. If you don't like it, then don't subscribe. But if you like it, subscribe. Freaking follow Clint.
Caress that subscribe button. Caress it.
Caress it. Hold your cursor over it. Don't press anything. You can think about it. But yeah, thanks for watching. For those of you that watch, and if you're new here, and if you're listening on Spotify, thanks for listening and hanging along. We appreciate it. And stay tuned for episode 12. I'll have another creator on here, or another, friend of mine that does something cool. So stay tuned. We'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace.